Hello, I'm Eva and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the 10 books I want to read before the end of 2025. As you can see, we have a special guest, Harlow. Anyways, so if you hear any ruckus, it might be her. Anyways, let's get started. So I wrote the list of the 10 books I want to read before the end of Jazzy. I didn't know you were in here. So I originally wrote the list of the 10 books I want to read before the end of 2025 a few days ago. So the one book I am already almost finished. So I added an extra one to the list since I'm almost finished this one. Also, there's a ton of dust flying through, and my cat is also in here, which I did not know. Here she is. Oh, you're a showstopper. You're a showstopper, Jazz. Oh, you look at the window. I forgot you love that. So we have Mate by Ali Hazelwood as the first one on the list. Like I said, I'm almost finished this book. I have like 50 pages left. I really like this book. I don't like it quite as much as Bride. I feel this one dragged a little bit more. And I gave Bride 5 stars, but I still feel like this is probably a 4 or a 4.5. But I'll see what happens in the last 50 pages. Probably after this video, I'll read the last 50 pages. Now I'll get into the rest of the books that I haven't started. So that one I'm not officially putting on the list. Like I said, I've replaced it with another book since I'm almost done that one. She's moving behind my curtain. She loves looking out the window there, so you might see her a little bit. So the first two I have on the list is The Front Runner and A False Start by Elsie Silver. These are the third and fourth books in the Gold Rush Ranch series. Like all of Elsie Silver's books, these are interconnected standalone romances. I've heard so many good things about this one. I've put this on my TBR multiple months in a row now and just still haven't gotten to it. But I'm so excited to get to it. I feel like anytime I've seen somebody talk about this series, everybody says this one's their favorite, so I have extremely high hopes. And then the last book in the series, A False Start, is the opposite to The Front Runner. I barely see anybody talk about this one, but once I finish up this series, I'll have read all of Elsie Silver's books that are currently out. And I love her books. The lowest I've rated one, not including that one novella, I give that like a 3.5, but from her full-length books, the lowest I've rated one is like a 3.75. So I've loved or really liked all of the books I've read from her so far. Then this book is from the library, so I will be reading it pretty soon. Also, I feel like it fits for spooky season. That is Kingdom of the Curse. This is the second book to Kingdom of the Wicked, which was a book I had on my TBR forever. I originally filmed a video reading the books that had been on my TBR the longest, but I ended up scrapping it because I just didn't like it. But I liked Kingdom of the Wicked. I gave it a 4 star. I didn't love it as much as I originally thought I would, but I feel like I've seen most of the people say the series gets worse, so I just got this book from the library. But we kind of left on a cliffhanger. I might read this book after I'm finished Mate. If I don't decide to read Kingdom of the Curse yet, I will read another book that's on this list, The Dark Corners of the Night by Meg Gardiner. This is the third book in the Unsub series. I never see anybody talk about this series, but I feel like if you like Criminal Minds or if you like the Natural series, you will like this series. It's more mature than the Natural series, and they don't like specifically have like talents, but they are profilers and solve cases. The first book I gave a 4 star, which is Unsub, and the second book was called Into the Black Nowhere, and I gave that one 5 stars. And I'm really excited for this one because we left on a major cliffhanger. Actually, I think I'm gonna read this one next, not Kingdom of the Cursed. I'm just really excited to see what happens after we left on a big cliffhanger at the end of Into the Black Nowhere. Next, I have kind of a random one, and that is The Serpent and the Wings of Night. I feel like this fits for fall, winter time, and I've been really intrigued to read this. I have not heard a single bad thing about this series, and I haven't heard a single bad thing about Carissa Broadbent's books in general, and I really want to get to one at some point this year. I feel like I've only seen good things about her books, and I am really excited to get into this. I also believe this is vampires, and it's a romantasy, and that's really all I know. And I think that sounds really interesting, and it might be enemies to lovers. I'm not sure. I've only heard good things about this book, and I feel like this just totally gives me fall winter vibes. And I know the rest of the series is on Kindle Unlimited, so if I really love this one, I can just hop into the rest of the series right away, which I love. Next, I have The Prisoner's Throne by Holly Black. One of the first fantasy series I've ever read was the Cruel Prince trilogy, and I'm currently rereading it mostly through audio, and right now I'm on The Wicked King, and I want to reread The Queen of Nothing as well, and then also reread The Prisoner's Throne. I read that right when it came out, and I believe that was the beginning of 2023, and I gave that 5 stars, and I was so excited for this one, which is the second one to that duology, because we have the Cruel Prince trilogy, then we have the what's the first one called, the Stolen Heirs duology. Like I said, I loved the first one, and I thought right when I got this I would read it, and I definitely did not. I think this came out in the beginning of last year, and I still haven't read it. Then at this point I kind of forgotten, so I decided to do the reread, and I just really love this world, so I'm so excited to get into this at some point. I feel like this will be like later in the year, like December. And then another book that I'll be reading later in the year, either November or December, is Meet Me Under the Mistletoe, for obvious reasons. It is a Christmassy holiday book. I've owned this for a couple years, I think, and every year Christmas comes around and I have a few books I want to read, and I just push this one to the back. Now this is one of the only Christmas books I have that I haven't read. I have this one and then more of a wintry one than a Christmassy one that maybe I will also read in December or save for January. But this one I want to get read this year. This is one of the books I've now had the longest. Again, every year I have to read a couple cute Christmassy romances. They're not always my favorite, but I have to. So the next 3 I don't own. I'll be reading them on my Kindle. So the first one I have is Racing Hearts by Grace Newman. This is an F1 romance. I don't know if you all know this, but I love F1 and I'm always looking for a good F1 romance. One of my favorites at the moment is Cross the Line by Simone Sultani. If you're looking for any recommendations, that one's my favorite that I've read thus far. And I'm really excited to get into this one. I read Grace Newman's one book that was only like 80 or so pages. I cannot think of the name of it, but I gave that one 3 stars, but I am really excited for this one. I got this one as an ARC, so I think I'm going to try to read it right in the beginning of November because it comes out in the middle of November. So I'm hoping to read it in the beginning of November and then post my review for it, which will be on my Goodreads and probably my Instagram and TikTok if you want to go check those out. The 9th book I have on this list is Jar of Hearts by Jennifer Hillier, I think is her last name. This is supposed to be a mystery thriller that's supposed to be very crazy. It follows 3 friends, one who's in jail, one who got murdered, and another one who's trying to figure out what happened all these years later. That sounds so good. I cannot wait to get to that one. I plan to read it this month for spooky season, so I'll be reading that one really soon. And the last book I have on this list is Love Arranged by Lauren Asher. At this moment in time, I've read all of her books except that one, and that's the 3rd in the Dreamland. No, not the Dreamland. Whoops. That's the 3rd book in the Lakefront Billionaire series. I haven't seen too much about this book, so I don't really have any preconceived notions. The first book in the series I gave a 4, and then the second one I gave a 5. The only thing with her books is that they're pretty long and sometimes tend to drag on a little bit, but I still am excited to get into it, and I found the audiobook for it, so that will make me want to read it more. Like, I kind of thought Final Offer and Love Redesigned kind of dragged on a little bit, which those are 2 of her newer ones. I gave Love Unwritten 5 stars though, so I must have not thought that one dragged too much, but her more recent books have been like they just get dragged on for too long. Like I said, obviously I still want to read that book. She also wrote one of my favorite romances, I Love Terms and Conditions, so I'm going to continue to keep reading her books. But yeah, these are the 10 books I want to read for the end of 2025. Comment down below some books you want to get to before the end of 2025. Anyways, that's the end of the video, and I hope I'll see you in my next one. Bye.